I do want to touch on a record that I think encapsulates a time period of hip hop that, I have two eras that I was like alive and like, I'm 38, so I was born in 87, right? So, I remember I was the type of kid who would get the Source magazines and then go back and buy all the Five Mike albums.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of that shit I was 5'6" for. Doggy Style was the first rap album I really fell in love with as a like little ass kid. But as like a dude, it was the 50 Cent G Unit era, and then this blog era that was so special. And One Train is a record that I listened to so much for as old as it is. And it's I think for my money, it's the best posse cut in the last 15 years or so. A lot of people say it's like the black hippie shit, but I think that record is it's different, man. Can you just kind of tell me, like, do you ever go back and listen and just from your memory, just how that record came about? Did you hear anyone's verses? And I do feel like it's one of those timestamps in hip hop where if you want to know what it was like for an era of dudes, everybody was on there.
Come on. Yeah, man. Shout out to that record. Shout out to Flacco. I remember how it happened, and I was, me and Rocky, we used to work out at the same studio in New York, Quad Studios. But he would work on quad, like that building had a bunch of different studios on there, actually, so he would work on quad on, what was that, the 10th floor, and I would be in the mill on the 6th floor. So I remember one day, I was there, and he came down, and I didn't even know he was upstairs, but he came down because he heard I was down there, and he was like, yo, I got this record, and, obviously at the time, he's on fire, I'm on fire. So he's like, yo, I got this record for you, and I want to play for you. I'm like, I bet, say less. So, I went upstairs, and I can't remember if Kendrick was on it at that time or not. That I can't remember. But I do feel like it was definitely his verse, and I want to say it may be somebody else's verse. I can't remember if that somebody else was Kendrick or not. But either way, once he played that for me and he told me what the objective was, I was like, say less.
What did he say the objective was?
That he was going to get all these different people on it, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, like, first of all, I thought it was dope. I thought that was a super dope idea, because I was doing posse cuts at the time, but with my crew.
Right, with Pro.
So I thought it was tight that he was putting together this posse cut with everybody from that generation, we was all the newcomers at the time. It was me, it was Flacco, it was Dot, it was
Yellow Wolf,
Bronson, Danny Brown. Action Bronson, Danny Brown. Like,
oh my.
it was a crazy lineup, but I just remember being like, man, say less. Like, I'm gonna go hard on this shit.
Yo, it's crazy too because I feel like you're one of the few artists that we've actually watched you grow up in real time.
Absolutely.
You come into the game, as a kid, and you never came off like a kid though. Musically, interview wise, if you'd meet, anytime anybody would ever talk to you when I first met you, we always hear like there's the gift and the curse of being that young and getting a certain amount of fame, a certain amount of money, a certain amount of notoriety, but you seem to have, really navigated that spectacularly. Was it tough though? Was it ever tough, like going through being who you were, being a kid, while also being Joey Bada?
Yeah, absolutely. There was a few things that was tough for me, right? I think one, what I was dealing with heavily at the time, and I didn't even know I was dealing with it, was survivor's guilt. That was making me overcompensate so much, like trying to do the most for the people around me who weren't seeing the same success as me. Because like I could feel the energy, but then I'd feel a little bit insecure about my own success because I'm like, it's so many opportunities back in that time that I passed up on. Well, not that I passed up on, but that I had to pass up on because my mentality was like, yo, if we can't all go, we don't go. You know, so it was a lot of rooms and stuff
A
like
lot of hotel rooms, a lot of travel, a lot of
not hotel rooms, like rooms. I mean, like literal, like
rooms that you could be in.
rooms that I could be in, tables that I could sit at.
Right.
That I didn't go into because the invite was for me. And I didn't really understand that at the time. And, in hindsight, I realized, how much of a misstep that was for me. Because it's like the incline could have been way much faster for me. But there was a lot of times where I deliberately got in the way or I slowed down the process because one, I was trying to bring everybody with me. And then two, I just wasn't sure that I actually wanted that life. You know what I'm saying? Like I think I was a little bit afraid of it, where it's just like, yo, what is it gonna do to me? Because I was so young. And it's like in a lot of ways I was very impressionable still.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit fearful of what it would turn me into if I moved too fast into it. And it's like, we was growing up hearing all types of shit about the industry. Like, you know what I mean? People selling their souls, this, that, the third. So all of that kind of manifested into my trajectory because there was a lot of hesitation in the beginning that I purposely made just out of really, yo, I remember it was one day and I was just sitting in the car and I'm like, yo, like, for some reason I couldn't let go the idea of walking of having to leave behind the idea of walking down a New York City street. That was so hard for me to like face. Like
Almost like
if I lean into fame,
if I lean into this too much, I don't want to lose that.
right? Like that's a free, being a New York City kid. That's just a part of my identity. Is navigating the streets, like
Yeah.
how I've always
Yeah, like if you want to walk down and get a bacon, egg, and cheese, I want to go get a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Right.
I don't want to have to get I got to get a fucking security
Right.
guy or send an assistant
exactly.
You said that was a mistake, maybe in hindsight, but you're still like fully intact, energy wise. Like, could the trade off have been a faster incline, but at the expense of yourself, maybe?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah, listen, man. One thing I've come to learn is that things happen the way that they supposed to do. They're supposed to happen.
Yep.
Like God has a plan, and I think that this is all part of what His plan was for me.
Mm.
And I think that whatever I was feeling at the time when I was younger, that was telling me, "Whoa, slow down" or "Be cautious." I think that was intuition.
Yeah.
And that intuition was a godly element that was warning me of something, and which ultimately led me to take the path that I took, whether it be to not enter rooms so soon or whatever. I think that it all played a part in the man that you see today.
Yeah.
And it's like, at the end of the day, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I feel like throughout every point in my career, it's always felt like I'm at a new beginning.
Mm.
And I think that's not something that everyone always experiences. So, for that alone, I'm like, even right now, it's like, man, I'm so excited to share this new body of work and, tour again and collaborate. And yeah, like I'm just